Well, good evening, everybody out there on YouTube. This is Sparky Mike. Welcome to the Ol'skool Reefer channel. Guess I wanted to do a video because I haven't done one in a while, and I guess it's going to be updates. Several things I've done in the last month or so. I wanted to show how big this discus is getting. He's getting to be a pretty good size. Latest thing I guess is with the freshwater tank. As most of you know, or any of my subscribers, or anybody who's watched any of my channels, I am not a Kessil fan anymore. And one of the first major investments I bought for this tank lately, well, 18 months ago, 16 months ago, would have been a Kessil A360X Tuna Sun, and it was for this tank. And of course, 18 months, 17 months later, it has burned out too. So I have lost 4 Kessils total. Three tuna blues, 1 tuna sun. And of course I pulled them all apart and changed guts, and the fan basically went bad on this one and quit working. So tried to disassemble 3 tuna blues that I had and tried to swap fans and circuit boards and LED. It's just a mess. You can't swap any of the parts and get any of the lights to work, even if you got a whole pile of parts. So what a joke. So I'm not impressed with Kessils. So I did a little research, did some searching, and I think the best option for this tank was aqua illumination. One of their freshwater hd16 prime. The programming is like Mobius app for Ecotech. Very similar, apparently. Ecotech and AI are sister companies owned by the same father or mother company, or whatever you want to call it. So very similar phone app you use to program that light. This little 50-60 water is putting out every bit as much as the 90-watt Kessil and giving me really good light. So really happy with what it's done. It's running at about 70%, where the Kessil is running at 85%. And ballpark about the same amount of light. So really happy with the $200 replacement to replace a $450 Kessil piece of junk. Like I say, I have no taste for Kessil anymore, and I'm going to badmouth them from now on. So 4 lights costing $450 each. You can total it up, so $1,800 in shit worth of lights in 18 months. So all gone bad. So thought I'd give you the update. This is a freshwater tank, and that little tiny discus is growing up to be a monster already. So we'll proceed on with the updates. So real happy with it. And our display tank. I do not have any filters on the camera at the moment, so I apologize. There's Blondie today. He's about to get a new tank mate if things work out. I have located a gold flake angelfish, about the same size as Blondie here. So he's about to get a tank mate here pretty soon. And possibly a majestic fox face. So not a whole lot has changed with this tank. It is a working reef tank, so I occasionally break off big giant pieces of scroll coral, which there was a monster couple of them here. Broke them off and cashed them in. And of course, snails and everybody tend to knock off the pieces before I can get them wedged into the rock. So I got to reach in here a little bit and replant a few things. Well, here's the tank today. I don't know if you can see, the glass is lit up, but not very well on the daylight. And our kitchen remodel coming along. I still have to make 5 upper cabinets yet, so Nice white painted ceiling, yay! Happy with how the floor came out as well. Anyways, back to the fish tank. Catwalk over here is serving me well. My drop down catwalk access to the back of the tank makes it sure a lot easier to work on this puppy over the stairwell. And of course I had to put the trapeze back up for the cat because he come running by the other day and skittered right off of there and down the stairwell he went. So I had to put the flying trapeze net back up for the cats. And of course, if it isn't the green star polyp trying to take over, it's the pulsing xenia. So always something else. Now watch out if you ever get a piece of this black sponge right there, dead center. It can really lay some welts on your soft part of your arm if you get into it. Stinging just about like a hornet multiple times. We'll go down here and continue with the update. Not a whole lot has changed with my system. Really happy with the protein skimmer I got from Life Reef. Jeff Turchek up in Morrison, Colorado. I ran up there, had him build me one. Actually, I had an extra one, ran up there. Can't remember if it was $400 or $500, but it is kicking ass, keeping the ORP up about 400, drops probably 350 right after feeding time. So, and I'm not even running ozone anymore. And with extra airflow through here, I don't have to run air dryers, and I don't have to run CO2 scrubbers or anything pretty much. So in summertime, the chiller I bought, really happy with it. Aqualogic, it's a 1/2 horsepower unit. Still happy with my walkie pumps. And proceed to the frag tank. Calcium reactor working pretty good. I have not tested the system lately, so I might actually have to add a little more remag to up my alkalinity and magnesium. Probably run some tests tonight to find out. Sump barrel all's happy. Main sump for the whole system. And the frag tank. And as you know, I had 3 Kessils go bad on this tank. And so I ended up replacing them with the Ecotech Radion G5 Blues. Put 2 of them in here, and that equals probably 3 of those Kessils. And I only have these running at 60% versus the Kessils that were 85%. So, and I'm about to rebuild this Aquatic Life T5 fixture, hybrid fixture that holds these, and I'm going to rebuild it with LED strip lights up inside to replace the T5 bulbs. Because for about the price of a set of bulbs to replace, I can replace the whole thing with LED strips and high powered 5450 chips, double density. I'll do another video once I get it rebuilt. So here's the frag tank tonight. Sorry, again, I don't have the blue filters on, or the orange filter for the blue light. The clownfish are very happy with their anemone. Snug as a bug in a rug. Let's see if we can catch a shot of my very shy angelfish. I've had a little trouble with angelfish in the past, and as well as this one, with hole in the head disease, hexamata, or whatever it is. And I have done some research on YouTube, of course, and coming from some wholesale people educated in wholesale and taking care of fish, they recommended not using ozone and removing any carbon filtering out of your system like I used to have in here. So I removed the carbon and the ozone basically from my system, trying to help the lateral line disease that's progressing on this guy back here. And also a yellow tang we have upstairs has a pretty good dose of it. So that lateral line disease is wicked. Oh, anyways, tonight, I don't know if I can show you the Refugium tank, but I'm getting a good 5-gallon bucket full of Catwalk out of here every couple weeks. Sometimes I run it on a 24/7 schedule after I've harvested, because I've noticed a little bit of spike in phosphates and nitrates when I harvest too much, or just harvest any really. Then I turn my light on to a 24-hour schedule versus the 14 hours or something, 12 hours it might be on normally. And the baby shrimp are coming right along. They're probably fingernail size at this point, pinky fingernail size anyway. And we'll see if we can get a shot of them. Oh, here we go. Look at how big them boys are getting. I'm impressed, because they were just little specks 6 months ago. So hopefully we get a huge load of peppermint shrimp, or we maintain them in this tank. Unfortunately, I'm having to harvest Catwalk out of here and having to double wash it before, or double rinse it before I jerk it out of here, as not to pull baby shrimp out. So thought I'd give you a shot of that. The only Kessil that is actually still working is this puppy here, which is their 380 horticulture type fixture, the older style Kessils. And believe it or not, it's still working. So I have plans for its replacement upon its demise. We'll see. And the handmade one from eBay parts next to it. Mangroves are growing like crazy, of course. Having to pull them away from the light a little bit, get the scorched. So everything's happy here. I'm really happy with the Radions, though I've had problem with Vetra L1 pumps in the past, which really soured me on Ecotech equipment. But after the research and dropping $846 on them two lights, I'm really impressed over what Kessil has done for me lately. As far as programming the Mobius, it's probably a lot easier for me than having to reprogram all these on my main display tank, which basically control all the colors of light in 2 fixtures. So there's probably 13 channels that I have to reprogram if I want to change wake up and dusk and dawn times. I've also added a Lunar module, I forgot to tell you that, on the tank upstairs, so I can run an actual moon cycle, though it isn't as involved as Mobius or the AI app. So that's another update, I guess, is I've added a Lunar module onto my Apex system. So I bought the 4 LED string in the little Lunar module, hooked it up to my system. Didn't take much at all to get it going. It's a very similar program as to the rest of the lighting program that I have here. So Mobius is a bunch easier, in my opinion, than trying to deal with a Neptune system. My hand-built lights for the main display. Mobius pretty simple and straightforward. More so than everything else. So real easy to adjust this and change your lighting schedule. Basically, I have all the lights at 100%. All the frequencies or bands of light, all of them are 100%. And then I fade out the cyan, the white, the red, and something else, basically at this time. You see I gradually run them down to 0 for the last couple hours. So I do a high peak in the morning and then gradually wane down on the Mobius app. And very similar with the AI app. It's really easy to deal with. And this is basically the freshwater tank upstairs. And again, it's just really easy to deal with. This is of course my lighting program for the freshwater tank. Of course I have a high peak in the morning. Kind of a slow 1 hour ramp. Peaks, gradual letdown, and then basically the same. I think I have a 2 hour letdown on this one, if I'm not mistaken. Nope. Looks like the same 1 hour letdown. So ramp up, slow gradual, drop off. This one also has the moon. You can program in the moon cycle, moonlight. Takes a little bit to do with it. It isn't automatic as far as when you program this. You have to go back through once you get the hang of it and figure it out and reprogram the moon schedule. Not too bad. So anyways, there's the gist of what I've done lately. Really happy with the Radion G5 Blues. These are the XR15s. And like I say, I only have these ramped up max 60% in the morning, and then they ramp down throughout the day. So there you go. That's my latest updates, I guess. I hope everybody's happy that this COVID thing's about over and we're starting to get these spit shame masks off our faces. Alright everybody, take care. Thumbs up if you haven't, subscribe if you haven't, or if you care to see any more of these. Have a great night, take care.